Imagine jogging down your peaceful suburban trail, training for the police academy with an empty holster clipped to your belt, when suddenly a clipboard-wielding busybody screams you're armed and dangerous. In 42 seconds, her power trip turns into a neighborhood nightmare, exposing a web of lies that rips her HOA throne right out from under her. Alex Thompson had seen his share of control freaks during his 25 years as a crisis negotiator for the NYPD. But nothing prepared him for the petty dictatorship brewing in Sunnybrook Estates, a cookie-cutter suburb in upstate New York where manicured lawns hid a minefield of absurd rules. He and his wife, Lisa, had moved there after his retirement, craving quiet after the chaos of the city. Their daughter, Mia, was home for the summer, fresh from her first year at the State Police Academy, pounding the pavement in her standard-issue gear to stay sharp. The holster on her hip, empty. Regulation standard. A hand-me-down from Alex's own days on the force, engraved with his old unit number. It symbolized discipline, not danger. But in Sunnybrook, where the HOA enforced everything from grass height to garbage can colors, that little piece of leather became a ticking bomb. It started innocently enough on a crisp Saturday morning, the kind where birds chirped like they were auditioning for a Disney flick and the sun glinted off the artificial pond that the HOA called a serene water feature. Mia laced up her sneakers, zipped her academy hoodie, and hit the community path. Alex watched from the porch, sipping black coffee, thinking how proud he was of her poise. Halfway around the loop, though, the air shifted. Helen Whitaker, the HOA president, a woman in her late 50s with a perm that screamed "I demand to speak to the manager," materialized from behind a perfectly trimmed hedge, her golf cart humming like a judgmental hornet. "Young lady," Helen's voice sliced through the quiet, high-pitched and authoritative, clutching her ever-present clipboard like it was the Constitution. That thing on your waist. It's a weapon. This is a family-friendly zone, no guns. No threats. Per Section 4.2 of the Covenants. Mia stopped, breathing steady, hands visible. "Ma'am, it's an empty training holster. No firearm. I'm in the academy." Helen's eyes narrowed, lips pursing into that classic Karen grimace, as if Mia had just confessed to running a meth lab in the garage. "Don't man me with excuses. I know a danger when I see one. Remove it now, or I'll report you for endangering the community." Neighbors started peeking out, Mr. Jenkins from across the street, phone in hand. Mrs. Patel pretending to water her flowers while eavesdropping. Alex, sensing the vibe from afar, strolled over casually, his negotiator instincts kicking in. "Helen, let's dial this back. Mia's training to protect folks like you." Helen wheeled on him, her pearls clacking. "Alex, you're new here. Rules are rules for a reason, to keep order. If she parades around like some vigilante, it'll scare the children." The irony hung thick. Helen, who once fined a kid for chalk drawings on the sidewalk because they promoted graffiti culture, now playing the protector card. Mia unclipped the holster slowly, handing it to Alex without a word, her face a mask of calm observation. But inside, Alex seethed. This wasn't about safety, it was Helen flexing her fragile ego. Word spread like wildfire through the neighborhood app, twisted into gossip fodder. By lunchtime, whispers mutated. "Did you hear? The Thompsons' girl is strutting around with a gun. Probably some thug in training." Alex fielded concerned texts from neighbors he'd barely met, all laced with that faux polite judgment Helen cultivated. Lisa urged him to ignore it, don't stoop to her level. But Alex, who'd talk down armed suspects without raising his voice, started observing. He noted how Helen's golf cart patrols increased, her eyes scanning like a low-rent surveillance drone. At the next HOA meeting in the clubhouse, a bland room smelling of stale coffee and entitlement, Helen addressed the incident with theatrical gravity. "Fellow residents," she intoned, tapping her gavel lightly, "we must remain vigilant against threats to our harmony." A certain newcomer flaunted what appeared to be a weapon on our paths. "I've issued a warning. But remember, safety first." Murmurs of agreement rippled from her loyalists. A clique of retirees who'd traded bingo for bylaw enforcement. Alex sat in the back, silent, jotting notes on his phone. When Q&A opened, he raised his hand casually. "Helen, clarify for us, does the Covenant ban training gear? Or just anything that makes you uncomfortable?" Her smile froze. A crack in the facade. "It's about perception. Alex. We can't have residents feeling unsafe. Unsafe like when you called animal control on the Garcia's cat for loitering?" A few chuckles escaped, but Helen shut it down with a glare. "That's different. Order must prevail." As the meeting adjourned, she cornered him by the exit, voice dripping honeyed venom. "Don't push me, Mr. Thompson. I've kept this place pristine for a decade. One troublemaker won't undo that." Alex nodded politely, but his mind catalogued her tells, the slight tremor in her hand, the overconfident tilt of her chin. She feared exposure more than chaos. Tension simmered as Mia resumed her jog sans holster. But Helen upped the ante. Anonymous notes appeared in mailboxes, "Beware the armed intruder in our midst." The app buzzed with veiled accusations. Helen moderating with biased flair, deleting counterposts while amplifying her narrative. Alex endured the sidelong glances at the grocery store, the cold shoulders at block parties. Mia, ever the observer like her dad, confided over dinner, "It's like she's building a case against us." "Dad. Why?" "Power's addictive," Alex replied, fork pausing midair. "She thrives on control. But cracks are showing." He started digging discreetly, chatting with longtime residents over fence lines, uncovering Helen's history. Turns out, she'd risen to HOA pres by ousting the previous board with trumped-up violations, then rewritten bylaws to cement her reign. Stories poured out, the single mom fined into debt for a non-conforming mailbox, the elderly couple harassed for bird feeders attracting pests. One neighbor, Carlos the maintenance guy, hesitated but spilled under Alex's gentle probing. "She's got files on everyone. Man. Hidden in her garage. Threatened my job if I talked." Alex's blood ran cold. "Surveillance. The ultimate control freak's tool. Help me expose it." "Carlos. No one's untouchable." Carlos wavered, eyes darting. "My family's healthcare's tied to this gig. She owns us." But the seed was planted. Guilt gnawing at him as Helen's patrols circled his truck more often. The boil-over hit on a sweltering Tuesday afternoon, the pond's fountain sprang like ironic applause. Mia laced up again, determined not to let Helen win. Halfway through her loop, Helen's golf cart screeched to a halt, blocking the path. "I warned you," Helen bellowed, face reddening under her sun hat, clipboard waving like a battle flag. "That academy nonsense is disrupting our peace. Remove yourself from community property." Mia stood firm, phone subtly recording. "This is public access." "Helen. I'm just exercising." Neighbors gathered, a reluctant audience to the sequel. Alex arrived mid-rant, heart pounding but voice level. Step aside. Helen. You're harassing my daughter. Helen's eyes gleamed with triumph. Harassment? I'll show you enforcement. She dialed 911 dramatically, voice quivering with feigned fear. Yes. Operator? There's an armed individual threatening residents. Send help quick. The lie was blatant, Mia unarmed. Hands up, but Helen performed for the crowd. For the children. Sirens wailed in the distance, tension coiling like a spring. Alex whispered to Mia. Stay cool. This is her rope. Officers pulled up, badges shining in the sun. Lead cop. Officer Hale, an old academy buddy of Alex's, assessed quickly. Ma'am. Where's the weapon? Helen pointed wildly. Her. She's academy. Probably loaded. Hale's brow furrowed, spotting Mia's hoodie. Cadet? Unarmed training? Mia nodded. Hale turned to Alex. Recognition dawning. Thompson? The negotiator? A quick salute followed, crisp and respectful. All clear. Folks. Helen stammered. But. Safety. Hale's tone sharpened. False report. Ma'am. That's a misdemeanor. The crowd murmured. Phones capturing Helen's deflate, the smug mask crumbling into panic as her authority evaporated in real time. She scurried off, golf cart sputtering, leaving her clipboard curbside like discarded armor. The backlash ignited overnight. Doorbell cams leaked footage, Helen's histrionics versus Mia's poise. The salute sealing her humiliation. The app exploded, residents venting years of grievances. Helen's moderation powers failing as admins defected. Alex coordinated quietly, gathering affidavits from the oppressed. Carlos cracked first, slipping Alex keys to Helen's garage under cover of night. Inside, binders of incident logs, dossiers on neighbors, fake reports, even a proposed loyalty database. Black humor hit Alex as he photographed Helen, noting a kid's lemonade stand as unauthorized commerce. She's built her own little Stasi, he muttered. At an emergency town hall Alex organized, bypassing HOA channels, residents packed the clubhouse, air thick with pent-up rage. Helen arrived uninvited, face a mask of forced dignity. This is insubordination, she huffed. Alex projected the binders on the wall. No. Helen. This is invasion of privacy. Section 12.4 of state law, you violated it repeatedly. Gasps echoed. Carlos stood, voice shaking but firm. She blackmailed me with my job. My wife's chemo depends on it. Helen blustered. Lies. I protected you all. But the crowd turned, you spied on us. Called cops on my delivery guy. Helen's defenses crumbled, her moral high ground exposed as a pile of hypocritical bylaws. She fled amid boos, the room erupting in cathartic laughter at her absurdity, a queen dethroned by her own paper crown. The county hearing loomed like Judgment Day. A sterile room in the local courthouse buzzing with Sunnybrook faces. Helen sat primly, notes trembling, as the oversight panel dissected her reign. 6 false 911 calls in 2 years, the chair intoned. Unlawful data collection. Explain. Helen's voice cracked. I maintained order. Without me. Chaos. Alex testified calmly. Order? You terrorized us. Used fear as policy. Mia added. That holster was my dad's legacy. You turned it into a scandal for control. Carlos sealed it, she threatened livelihoods. It's abuse. Evidence mounted, photos, logs, witness statements. Helen's pleas devolved into rants, ungrateful peasants. The panel ruled, authority revoked. Civil charges pending. Applause thundered as Helen was escorted out. Face ashen. Pearls clutched like a lifeline. Outside. Under clearing skies. Residents mingled. Relief palpable. Carlos shook Alex's hand. You freed us. Mia hugged him. Proud of you. Dad. Weeks later. Sunnybrook breathed easy. New elections installed a balanced board. With Carlos on it. Focusing on community over control. Alex led free safety workshops by the pond. Mia demonstrating holsters without fear. Helen's house sold quietly, rumors said she moved to a condo with no HOA. Irony's final jab. The neighborhood app hummed with genuine chats. Not paranoia. As Alex walked the trail at dusk. Pond rippling peacefully. He reflected on the absurdity, how one empty holster unraveled a tyrant's web. Justice didn't scream, it whispered until the masks fell. But tell me, was Helen the real villain? Or just a product of a system that lets petty power go unchecked?